Hi, my name is Stacy. Welcome to my channel and thank you for visiting Hair There. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about bangs on wigs. Oftentimes if you purchase a wig, the bangs will come in a longer length so that we can customize them depending on the size of our forehead and the style that you like your bangs. Some people like their bangs to be a little bit longer, and so they can do more of a side swept look, similar to how I have this. And by the way, this is Vaughn from CysterWigs Limited in chocolate covered strawberry. You can see some of the pink woven in through here. So this has a bang that you can do as a curtain bang. You can do it longer. You could trim this if you wanted to. You could do more of a center bang. I don't look the best in those, so I tend to do a side split bang and then keep it longer over here to the side. This side swept bang also works if you like to pull your hair back. Then you can do something like that with some little clips, and you still have that side swept look. I'm going to be using a couple of hair cutting scissors. Make sure that you are using a very sharp pair of scissors. If you don't have scissors specifically made to cut hair, make sure that they are a very sharp pair. So I'm also going to be using a thinning pair of shears. So these are the thinning shears. They have the little combs here. So essentially they're just cutting little every other hair as you're cutting. And then I will also be using regular scissors. So I bought this little kit on Amazon for about 20 bucks. It also has kind of the razor cut if you want to do more of a shaggy look. I have found for me, the bangs don't look as well on me as good when I do that cut. So let's get to it. All right, so here I have a different wig on, and you can see these bangs hang over my eyebrows, which I am not a fan of. I am going to do this with it on. You could do this on a mannequin head. I am not a professional, so I have to see what I'm doing, and I have a lot of trial and error. With bangs, you always want to start off longer than you think. Now, with these, if you like a longer bang, you could use a hot air brush, give them some height, give them some oomph, make them a little bit shorter, kind of fringe them out at the bottom, and keep them this length. For me, that's just a little too long. If you have some banana clips or hair styling clips, go ahead and clip back the hair that you want to keep out of the way. And you're going to comb down. Think about where you want to go. I want these to hit just slightly above my eyebrows. So I am going to just take very small snips. I'm going to kind of start in the center. And again, I'm sure there's a more professional way to do this, but we are just doing what it takes to be able to get our hair done every day. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to hold them vertically like this. I'm just going to be doing vertical snips. This will keep them a little bit wispy on the end. If you are intentionally wanting that very, very blunt bang look, then you can do this and go horizontal. You'll need to make extra sure that they are very straight though. Doing it vertically like this, when you don't have a whole lot to cut off, gives you a little bit more room for error. Taking a little bit of that other hair that I started with to kind of know where my guide is for my fingers. if you are worried about doing this, doing your bangs, I would suggest if you have a wig that you don't wear very often, or that you're not sure if you like, you don't quite like the color, but you like the style, keep it as a practice wig. That's what this one is for me. I'm gonna go just a little bit shorter. At least in the center. And we'll see if these end up too short. So you can see they're still fairly long. There's some shorter pieces on the top that were already short like that. All right, so there is one trimmed bang, a little bit. All right, now this is Anya in Aniston foil. This is probably the lightest color of wig that I have ever had on my head. Still, I'm not quite sure what I think about it. Now, Anya has a little bit of a flip. You can turn around and show you the back. I love the length. I love the flippies in it. However, for me, these long layers in front tend to just hang down, and they don't necessarily always flatter my face. Now, every Anya that you get will lay a little bit differently. Sometimes the curls have a little bit of a different look, and I have some that have a tighter curl and some that have a looser curl. So you may have to play with these when you take them out. Now, if you look really good with that side swept look, then you probably won't have to do a thing. For these though, I'm going to cut in a really long bang, and I'm gonna try a technique that I saw in a video. I wish I could remember where and who I saw that from, but I cannot. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to pull back where I don't wanna cut. And I think I'm actually gonna do a little bit on both sides here. So we'll see how this works. A little bit of newness for everybody. So I think this is kind of like that wolf cut that I've heard so much about on TikTok and YouTube videos, but maybe just for a bang. So, and let's see here, I'm gonna do that back here. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Now, if I was cutting these with scissors first, I would start at about my nose length first, just so that you don't go too short. You can always go shorter. If you have a curl too, you kind of want to try to see where that curl pattern is going. This is kind of going like this. So if I cut, but here's what we're gonna do. So you twist. I'm still gonna, I have no idea what this will look like. And then I'm gonna use the thinning shears, which remember the ones with the teeth. And then I'm just going to, I'm gonna start low here. I'm gonna start about the bridge of my nose, and I'm just gonna do some small little cuts, maybe. And let's pull that out and see what happens. So we're gonna, so basically we are thinning out some of that bang. All right, okay, so that didn't do quite what I thought it was gonna do. So first, let's do this. Let's go ahead and cut straight across here, about my nose. I'll show you how much hair I took off. So then we can just kind of see, this gives me that long side swept bang. Now, this might be enough might just be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that twist again. Again, it kind of depends on how you want to wear your bangs. I'm going to take that twist again that we had. And see if this does anything different than actually just so basically it pulled that out. I don't know that that really does much different than just thinning it. So let's unclip these and see where we're at now and see what difference that made. See, even just doing that, see how that gave it a little bit more shape for my face shape. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I am going to thin out just a little bit. So I'm gonna clip this back some more. Just so I can get kind of the lay that I want. And I did that pretty straight across, so I'm gonna go back in and take my scissors, and now I'm just going to, I'm not really getting any length, I'm just gonna kind of go in there vertically and just kind of mess that up a little bit so it's not quite so blunt. Didn't really take much length back off there. And I'm gonna take my thinning shears. Now on a thinning shear, kind of depending on where you're wanting to thin that out, you're gonna do little cuts. You can come all the way up here and take some out, and it's going to essentially like take that little extra layer out, so you're thinning it. You could cut some here, kind of leave the bulk up here, and then make it a little bit thinner down here, depending on how you want it to lay. So some of this is trial and error, especially if you're not a hair cutter, like I'm not. So that little clip right there just took out this amount of hair. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get it to lay exactly the way that's going to work for my face shape. Because Anya and Poppy are two of my favorite styles. I think I'm gonna thin this out a little bit up here too, so it's a little bit wispier. Now notice I'm doing this from the underneath so that the top, where I might have a little bit of permatease, and I wanna make sure that all of the wefts are covered, that I don't take anything out from that top layer and I can pull it back over. So that's one of the reasons that I do it from the underneath here to start off with the thinning. Plus, since I'm self-taught, that way if I make a mistake, I can cover it up a little bit easier. So you can see I still have all of that thickness up here, and I just thinned it out a little bit underneath to give it a little bit more wispiness. And now I can kind of see where I might want to do a little bit more work. So I'm going to, I think, thin a little bit more out here. So you guys will have to let me know if you think that if I can do this blonde. I'm gonna do this down here. I'm gonna take a little bit of a different section and do it up here. Ooh, I'm liking this. The longer side, and I am just gonna kind of shave down that so I can kind of get a little bit of a cut, but not a blunt cut. So it's a little bit of a shag, not really thinning it, but I'm getting a little bit more of an angle in there. So there it is, just pulled up. So again, you can do so many different things with the bangs, and that allows you to really customize it to your style, your face, your look. You can make the bangs as short as you like, you can keep them long, you can do side swept. And remember, this started off being the same length as this with a side part. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you have a hot air brush, you could blow these out with the hot air brush, and that will give them a nice full kind of curl, help them lay in a very nice way. All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining me tonight as I played with my hair, something I never got to do very often because I didn't have very much of it. So now that I have wigs, I can try all kinds of fun new things, and I am learning how to manage all of this hair. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and thank you.